Hi, and welcome to Adelante Raza. Today, our theme is service and giving to our community. The individuals that we brought to interview are people that exemplify that. Also, is a little review of our upcoming Chicano Woodstock 2015, which is going to be held in the city of Colton, California on September the 19th, and it's sponsored by Adelante Raza Unidos and
sponsored by
the David Toro Foundation. So we're really happy to have these individuals come out. But we want to remind you again what Adelante Raza is all about. It's your show. And so Adelante Raza is about creating opportunities and a show that we hope informs and empowers our communities through a theme of unity. We at Adelante Raza, we believe in teaching our rich culture by providing a show that highlights the positive that comes out in many of our artists, our musicians, our entertainers, our politicians, businessmen, and women. And so tonight we're really excited because we have a really great lineup. We have, first of all, Mr. David Toro, Councilman David Toro of the 1st District of the City of Colton. He's also the president and founder of the David Toro Foundation, which is a foundation that helps to bring low-cost spay and neuter clinics, microchip programs, adoption, and also helps to enact legislation for the fair treatment of animals. We also have with us the famous Freddy Mr. Freddy Guzman, the leader of the Smooth Response Band. He's going to be coming and giving us a little insight into what makes him tick and what makes him put out all that great music. But as always, we'd like to say hello and give some shout outs to some very special people. The first and foremost, our executive producers, Cassandra DeLapp and Mr. Sol Rodriguez, without whose expertise and guidance, and also chanclazos, we wouldn't be able to put this wonderful program together.
I'd like to give a shout out to Lisa Almeida. She's in need of volunteers with her blankets for the orphans and the homeless children. And you can reach her on Facebook at Tender Loving Covers. And we'd like to give a shout out to Blind Dog Productions, Mr. Phil Avila and his awesome, amazing team, his crew. We'd like to give a shout out to Miss Monabe Henley and Mr. Charlie Perez with Round 2 Entertainment. And also, we'd like to give a shout out to Larry Sellers and Carol Sellers of Ultra Printing.
Awesome people.
Oh yes,
awesome
absolutely. And our last shout out will be for Miss Cheryl Lola Lucero of the American Indian Reporter out in Colorado. Thank you, Cheryl.
And we also like to remind you our new upcoming write-in segment called Voices of Aslan, where we want you to write in to us about the role model stories that you have out there. And what we'll do is we'll give them a little shout out. And if it's really interesting enough, or we feel that it needs the public's attention to the extent that we'll bring them on the show and interview them. But we're asking you out there, you know who the heroes are in your neighborhoods, in your places of work, in your places where you worship. And we want you to write in, let us know about these people. And you can send that information to us at info@adelanteraza.com. Attention, Voices of Aslan. We're happy to have with us today Councilman David Toro of the 1st District, City of Colton, California. David is also the founder of the David Toro Foundation, which is a foundation that helps to provide low-cost spay and neutering clinics, veterinarian services, adoption services, microchip programs, and things like that. David is also, since we're talking tonight about aspects of the upcoming Chicano Woodstock 2015 that's going to be held in the city of Colton on September the 19th, David is, along with this foundation, are also co-sponsors of that festival coming up. David, we're glad to have you here. We're very proud to have you here. We want to ask you a few questions, and so we picked through your biography that you sent in. And first of all, I want to thank you for your service. You're a veteran just like I am of that particular era, more or less. I read through some of the things. You went through some interesting times, but I know, like myself, my time in the military did some things for me. And you're a former Marine, because there's no such thing as an ex-Marine. So, as I've been told very much.
Actually, just a Marine.
Just a Marine, there you go.
I'm a Marine.
I'm a Marine. So, I want to ask you, how significant was your time in the Marines in shaping the David Toro of today?
I think first let me say thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's really an honor to be here. And, I joined the Marines. Actually, I joined the Marines when I was, I started looking at the Marines with a bunch of buddies my senior year in high school. And I was just 16 years old. I couldn't join until I was 17, so I had to convince my mom actually to sign the papers when I turned 17.
Yeah.
But, I come from Gary, Indiana, which is kind of was a poor neighborhood at that time. Mm-hmm. It's a steel mill city. And, to be successful, it was one of those towns where you had to get out and go somewhere if you're going to be successful. So I thought my only route was the services. And, looking at all the services, I thought the Marines were the best dressed and they were the toughest ones of all.
And they look good, huh?
They look good. And being a 110-pound, 5'9" little midget guy, I thought, I want to be a tough Marine. So I went in and, it taught me discipline, to strive for everything that I try to do and, fight for everything that I do. So, I've been around the world with the Marines and seen a lot of different countries, a lot of different cultures, poor cultures, and so it makes you grateful to what we have here, and I try to instill that in my kids too.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be appreciative of what you have, work hard for what you want, and give praise and faith to God. For allowing you to do everything that you're doing. So one of the things that I was successful in putting in our council chambers is "In God We Trust."
Yeah, I saw that.
So
Yes.
I really believe in that. If you ask God to help you, He's always there to help you. So He's been helping me along this way. When I first got involved with doing the dogs stuff, it's like, God, how do I do this? Where do I go? And each little step of the way, some little step will come to me, and little by little, I'm getting to where I'm hoping to be, which is now this foundation, and hopefully now with the foundation, I'll be able to do a lot more.
Do you find yourself now? So the Marines gave you a foundation of discipline, and actually gave you an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of us. I know, and it's interesting because that is an option for a lot of people, and sometimes the only option in some communities for us to better ourselves and to go out. And most of the people I know that are in any kind of leadership capacities in their communities or doing things usually had a military foundation, whether it was they got drafted or they just decided or they do whatever thing. I noticed that you were involved in a little bit of a precarious situation when the hostage crisis during Jimmy Carter's era.
That's right. I was on board the USS Coral Sea.
Okay.
We were out at sea for 102 days actually before anything happened. And I want to say it was 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. The general quarters rang, man your battle stations, and I think I was asleep at the time, and you had to run to your battle stations. The captain came on the horn and said, we may have just committed an act of war, and we were actually departing the area, and that's when I believe the helicopters had crashed. So from what I understand, our ship was supposed to be the decoys of drawing the firepower when they rescued the hostages, they escaped. But obviously none of that happened.
None of that did happen.
None of that did happen. But, you're right. Being in the Marines did give me a lot of leadership skills. And, being a leader and always wanting to be the best. Like I said, the Marines are the best in the service. They're elite, and I've always brought that forward in everything I do, whether it's in my job, at work, at playing sports, on the council, in the city. You always want to be the best. And sometimes, when people see that, it brings out the best in them. And I'll give you an example at work today. We had an issue to where it was like a competition. And, I bring that out in my coworkers to try to compete, because the more you compete, the more you're competitive in a friendly, competitive way, it makes each one of us better.
Exactly.
Yes,
it brings out the best in
Yeah.
us. Yeah. And then the organization will benefit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's excellent. I know I still find myself still after so many years, and I was in the chair force for the Air Force for about 10 years, but I still find myself still doing things that, just little disciplines, little things that, just have never left me. Including my wife always says, I could tell you were in the military because you blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, you don't know how profoundly that affects you.
Yeah.
Did that help? The next question I guess I have is was that part of what some of that instilled this wanting to serve your community? Because I know you live in a really nice little town, Colton, California, for all you people out there. But what made you want to serve your community? Because today we're talking about service to community, and we brought forth people like yourself. And
when I first thought about running for the city council, I didn't want to have anything to do with politics. I thought all politicians were corrupt, like a lot of people think.
Yeah.
And
surprise.
Yeah, and then why would I want to do that? And actually, in order to run for council in Colton, you have to go out and you have to have people sign your ballot, and you have to get about 20 people. And I thought, man, I don't know 20 people in the city of Colton. But I had been involved in youth sports with my kids, and actually there's a park that's across the street from where I live, and when we moved in there, it was just a dirt lot, and I actually took on City Hall with some neighbors and putting what's there now, which is a basketball court, tots playland, and tennis courts.
Nice.
They just wanted to put grass there. But little did I realize that's where I started getting involved, by knocking on people's doors and getting them to sign a petition to take on City Hall to say, this is what the people want. We don't want City Hall to tell us what we want. We want to tell you what we want. And so when I went out there to get my signatures on the ballot and went to a few people that I knew, I was like, oh my God, you're running? Oh, we need somebody like you in there. Yeah, I'll sign your paper. And next thing I know, I had 20 signatures, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I knew 20 people. And then those 20 people, they knew 20 more people. So I got like 40, 50 signatures on my ballot. So
you thought you couldn't even get 20.
yeah, I didn't think so. And that really motivated me, thinking, you know what? Wow, the people gave me confidence, because I was just out there being a regular person, being in the sports community, but then people told me, yeah, you're like this, you're like that, you care for the people, you're not like a politician, you're going to do what's good for the people. And I'm like, man, you know what, that is me. You're just out there being yourself, you're not realizing that you're doing anything special.
Keeping it real.
Just keeping it real, yeah.
See, and that's the Marine Corps again. That's the Marine, because Marines are first on the beach, first.
Yeah, they're the first.
First, always the first. Always
They are the first.
I bet you a little bit that was part of you, but I mean, you were probably born with that inside of you, and that thing. In regards to the service of your community, I mean, that's a great thing, and it's an excellent thing, because I was reading through your bio and I did a little bit of research. I mean, you actually won your first election. You beat the incumbent by some 30, 40 points. He was 74 he got 40-something odd percent.
Yeah, it was 60 to 40%.
So it's safe to say you actually kicked his what?
Yes, I won pretty good. I won pretty
And then
good.
you're now in your second term, right?
Third.
You're third.
My second term, I won by 72% of the vote.
And then nobody ran against you the third time.
And
right?
nobody ran against me the third time.
So-
Wow.
So,
Amazing.
I have a lot of pride in that, because what it says is, people have faith in me. They trust, my decisions that I make for them, because basically the way I look at it, I'm making the same decision that just a regular person that lives, next door, across the street,
You know what their issues are.
I know what
because
I know what their issues are, and I think the same way they do, and it's not politics. It's just it's taking care of the people that live in your neighborhood, and that's what we are. We have to live in our districts that we represent. And
well, that shows. And like I said, I'm a nosy person, so I asked around the community and whatnot too. I mean, nobody has anything bad to say about you. And the interesting thing about you is your last name is Toro, so you're Italian American, right?
yes,
And the majority of your constituency is probably Spanish speaking.
Yes.
Which is excellent, and speaks largely great for you in the sense that this is an area where the Hispanic community has more clout in their voting, and so we don't trust very many people. So the people that we do trust, we end up embracing and loving, and the people that are around your first district, they love you and they know that David's going to be there to bat for them.
Yeah.
And having said that, we have only a set amount of time, and if we don't follow our path here, they end up throwing
Then
us
we get the chancla.
the chancla, which is if you know what a chancla is.
yes.
Yes, there you go. So they'll throw it at us. So I want to quickly, because it's very important, and we want people to know about the David Toro Foundation.
Oh, yes,
Why did you
absolutely.
create the David Toro Foundation? Because I saw, look at this Marine. He's like, could kill you with his finger, and yet he
loves our animals.
He's out rescuing animals and whatnot. And I know our raza, us Mexican Americans, Chicanos, whatever, we love
We all have a chihuahua.
we all love our animals, and I'm always fond of saying, you can always by the amount of mounds in the backyard of all the animals that they bury in their backyards.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, right.
What? I mean, okay, so you ran. Now I'm a politician now, so now why did you create the David Toro Foundation? It probably speaks to itself, but I mean, why?
Well, I want to say probably 2 years ago, I started getting involved going to the San Bernardino City Shelter. And I started getting involved in the rescue world. And it's a whole world that I didn't know existed. The things that people do, and it was just a whole other world. And I'm still learning stuff about it. But as a city councilman, I used my position to try to help animals. And at the city of San Bernardino, really as a politician, I didn't have any influence or power. So I reached out to the council there. And I just didn't feel that city was doing a good job. And so I started researching other shelters, and I found the Riverside County Shelter, and I approached them. And we are now with the Riverside County Shelter. They've got a beautiful facility.
Yes, they do.
They treat their animals great. They're not a no-kill shelter because they still euthanize.
Okay.
But they do everything they can to help get an animal saved. So pretty much animals that are really suffering in irremediable pain, they'll euthanize. And then they got the animals that are sick and, be a lot of money and care and effort to try to save them. Those ones, when time comes and it gets to a point, those get euthanized too. But I can honestly say every 100% adoptable animal stays 100%. It stays 100% adoptable. Will stay there for as long as it takes.
That's great.
So
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
But as far as the foundation goes, I started with the city, trying to figure out a way of how the city can generate funds, revenues, and help the animals. But as we all know, and just like I said before, I'm not a politician. I really don't like politics and government. There's just too much red tape.
Yes.
So I thought, you know what? I'll do what I can through my office, which is a spay and neuter program. But I need to do something else. Being on the city council, it's not a lifetime job. And I want to make sure when I'm not there anymore, I still have a route to take to help save animals. So the David, and I'd like to give a shout out because this organization actually is the one that really got me started.
Okay.
It's startrescue.org.
Okay.
They've heard my name somehow through the rescue people, and they called me and said, you know what, I hear what you're doing in Colton. We want to help. We're going to sponsor $1,000 for you to do 1 month worth of spay and neuter. And we did the spay and neuter, and it was of such success that they called me the day after and said, you know what, we want to do 3 months worth of spay and neuter for you.
Wow.
In January, Ellen DeGeneres had a birthday, and on her TV show, she asked, in lieu of people sending birthday presents to her, that they would send money to 2 foundations, which one of them was startrescue.org. And Bissell gave them $150,000.
Really?
And, you know, it was really exciting. I was actually on my computer and on Facebook when I saw the post that, you know, Ellen DeGeneres did that to him. And while I was looking at the president of the company, his name's Steve Spiro, he called me and he said, Dave, you know what? Ellen DeGeneres was really generous to us, and you've been doing such a great job. We're going to commit $15,000 to you in the city of Colton to do spay and neuter.
Amen.
So right now, that's what I'm working with, spay and neuter through my office in Colton. I provide the vouchers, and we use Loma Linda Animal Hospital and the Riverside Shelter to do those programs. So now the foundation is going to try to build on that. For next year, to try to raise money to continue the spay and neuter program for next year, and also to provide microchips. And I also want to try to help people that can't afford to pay for their vet bills when their animals get sick.
And, you know, we hope that, well, we expect through Adelante Raza to generate some interest, and, you know, we're doing
Yes.
We could not have done this Chicano Woodstock without your help and your sponsorship and the umbrella and everything like that. And I mean, you know, Teresa and I were currently nursing 3 of the left of the litter.
Yes.
Of our cats. You know,
One of them left already. They named her the Lily.
Yeah. So we love our animals too. So, and wherever we go, when we tell people, you know, this is co-sponsored by the David Toro Foundation, you know, and proceeds, you know, a portion of the proceeds are going to go to the David Toro Foundation for this and that, and people, they just will line up behind us, and so we're looking also. So you people come out to the Chicano Woodstock. It's not just a whole day of entertainment and everything. What it is also is to raise funds for David's. Part of the proceeds for David's
Toro
Foundation. And real quickly, we only have a couple of minutes to go. But what other projects are you currently working with in regards to the foundation besides the microchip, or what do you got planned?
You know what? Really, I'm really thankful for you guys promoting. I guess the. I can't say the event that we're going to have on September 18th, the Adelante Raza. But
just call it Chicano Woodstock.
The Chicano Woodstock.
There you go.
But
we have trouble with the other word.
You know, yeah. But that's, you know, I want to take baby steps, so I don't try to put too much on my plate. So right now, I'm going to try to continue with the spay and neuter program, and then add microchipping onto that.
Cool.
And then as a city councilman, working on ordinances and new laws that, you know, will make people more responsible pet owners.
Oh, yes.
Excellent.
That's excellent.
And how can people get a hold of you if they want to, like?
Yes.
Where do they go?
I have a website.
Okay.
davidtoro.com.
Okay.
My email, davidtorofoundation@davidtoro.com.
Okay.
Or call my cell phone or send me a text, 909-996-7807.
And I'm sure
We could also reach you on Facebook, correct?
too.
Oh, yes, I'm
Oh,
also
yeah.
on Facebook.
Okay.
It's a picture of me and my wife with In God We Trust behind me.
Oh, yes.
And we use that logo too. We use that picture
Yes,
actually.
yes.
So we thought that's an
Yes.
excellent. I was like, when we first met you, David, afterwards we talked, my wife and I, you know, we went to that meeting. It was kind of noisy, and
Right.
I know you had a lot of questions, but the one thing that came back was, I said, that's a nice guy. I mean, you know, genuinely, you're
Yes.
genuinely, and I could see where your star will shine bright. And you know, I don't like politicians either, because I've had some interesting experiences with politicians and whatnot, but I can see that you're a man of the people. You know, you're tú eres,
I try to be.
Tú eres persona del gente, and you know, if the Mexicans like you out there in Colton. I mean, you're what we call a person with corazón. So I mean, like I
Yes.
said, and it shows in everything you do. And we are God-fearing people, and so that's even excellent.
Well, I think you two are a lovely couple, and
Thank
you
you.
know, hardworking, God-fearing, and you know, I think you guys will be very successful, and you know, together I think we'll be successful
Well,
too.
thank you, David. Thank you for coming along, and I hope to have you come back again and tell us what else is going on. And
Absolutely.
we can tell everybody how successful we were at the Chicano Woodstock and raising some funds for you.
Yes,
Thanks,
that'll be
David.
great.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, we're happy to have with us today someone that we actually can call a friend.
Oh, yeah.
We met Freddy and Irma back there a while ago, but we've been enjoying his music for a while, and I know that most of you out there have been enjoying the music of Mr. Freddy Guzman, also known, mostly known, probably to all of you as Freddie G. And he is the mastermind, the leader, the creator of Freddie G and the Smooth Response Band. So, Freddie, we're happy to have you out here today, brother.
Well, thank you for having me.
So we're going to ask you some questions, and you know, I know you're prepared and all that, and so we wanted the people out here that listen to your music and already enjoy your music that to enjoy that little part of Freddie G that maybe nobody knows about.
Right,
So-
right.
That's right.
And I bet you they didn't know that. Well, let me backtrack and say, because of the way you sing and the beautiful music, they got to know that you've been singing since you were whatever. But I realized in reading your biography that you've been singing since the age of 7. Is that right?
I've been singing at the age of 7. Yeah, I had my first band also at 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
Wow.
singing very long time. I enjoy the music. My father was a musician himself.
And we're going to get to that in a minute. But so, as a child, what inspired you to do the music thing? Because I mean, there's so many things. I mean, especially, you know, our families sometimes go, "Oh, you want to be a singer?" I mean, you know, how can you make a living being a singer? But I realize that since you've been singing since you were a child, that music was put in your heart. But what inspired you to do this beyond that? Because when you're a kid, you don't really know. I mean, you kind of do, but you don't.
No, I just love to play the music. I love singing. I've been singing my whole life. You know, I just love it. It just comes from the heart. You know, what I like to do is sing, and like I told you, my father, I used to watch him play all the time, and it got me humming and singing, and I liked what they did. And then I got into, when I was young, I used to love Elvis Presley. I got into Elvis Presley. I go, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to sing and make people very happy.
So Elvis was kind of a role model.
Yeah,
for you.
Elvis was my role model, yes. He started off, he playing the guitar, doing his singing, and yeah, he's my main one, yeah.
Did you go around being little Elvis?
Well, I tried. I tried. But, you know,
Could you do the foot? Did you do the leg like Elvis? At all?
well, oh yes, I could.
I'm not going to ask you to do it now
Okay,
because
yeah.
I know we're a little more mature, and sometimes when we
Right.
throw our knee that
Yeah, at the
way,
time.
if we throw our knee that way, it goes that way.
It gets stuck now.
Yeah, but I used to do his moves back then. Yeah,
Cool.
I just loved it, and
Well,
I used to carry my guitar.
I've watched you
You
on
know.
stage. You still do a little. You know.
Yeah, I still do a
The
little
hips
move in
still
there.
kind of go there.
Yeah.
I watched that. Because I watched the reaction, you know, of the ladies and everything, and everyone was like, "Oh, Freddie G." But so we could tell that you know, Theresia and I could tell the difference between when we see a lot of people, we go, you know what, that guy must have been from the cradle. You know, we could tell. We had Andy Rojo here last episode, and similar. I mean, he came from an entertainment family, but I mean,
Right.
out of the womb, music, and similar thing like you know, watching somebody. It was interesting, and I was dying to ask you if you were little Elvis, because I saw that Elvis was somebody that really impressed you, and you wanted to be like Elvis.
Yes, he really impressed me a lot, and I always thought, I go, well, you know, if I can do that, because I've always had a good voice when I was younger. I used to sing like Michael Jackson at that time, you know, and I used to sing his songs also, you know. But that's before my voice changed. You know, I had that little boy voice until, you know, my voice changed. But yeah, I just love the music. I just feel it from the heart. I mean, every time I write a song or I do a song, even the cover tunes I do, it just comes from my heart. You know, because I feel it. I feel it. So that's why I love to sing and love to do. And I've been like that ever since I was a little boy.
Well, it shows, and you said something about covers, and people do. I mean, I know in bands, and our executive producer Sol Rodriguez has a musical career too. slow, you know, and you know, you could tell that even when you have to do the covers, because people like covers, but you do them with heart, you know, and that to me shows the difference, you know, because you could tell people are, you know, I'm singing Michael Jackson, but I'm singing it Freddie G style with a Freddie G little piece of, you know, flavor to it. Now you talked about your dad, and a lot of people don't know, and I thought it was interesting because a lot of guys.
Can I step in really quick? Turn your mic.
Which way?
Yeah.
This way?
Because
Okay.
you're turning towards him and you're.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can't hear? Okay.
So starting with that question.
Okay. I thought something was really interesting, and a lot of people that we have brought on, people that we love to hear sing, come from musical families or have an influence. And you alluded to it a little bit about your father having a band, and a lot of people don't know that your father had a band called Moses and the Followers. What kind of band was that?
Well, they were a 60 band, rock and roll.
Okay.
I mean, when they first started, when they first got Moses into the group, he wasn't really the best singer in the world.
Oh, so there was a real Moses.
Well, you know, he just he wasn't the best, but as they practiced and as they got better and better, he became really, really good. I mean, he was out there dancing, performing. I mean, like another Elvis.
Okay.
And I mean, they were good. I mean, they even been on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh,
They
really?
did a couple of things out here. I mean, I wanted Legion.
Okay.
You know, and I remember those days, and I remember watching my father on TV, and I go, guy, you know, because I remember how they sounded back then. But with practice and practice, they got really good. Yeah.
And what did that help in you to motivate you? I mean, how did that help to motivate you to do? I mean,
That influence.
yeah, how did that influence you?
It did that a lot for me because I started out as a drummer. My dad was a drummer.
Okay.
So I started playing music, drums first, and then, like I said, I got into the Elvis Presley thing, and his music just caught my eye. You know, I could never go to where he performed, but I've always seen band practice. I was too young, you know, there. But I just sit there and I watch my dad from the couch, and I watch how he moves his hands as he's playing the drums. And sometimes, you know, I have old pictures with me sitting on his lap and he got the drumsticks. And, you know, just like what fathers do nowadays, their instruments, they got the boy playing the drums. So, yeah, it made me want to do what my dad wanted to do. I love music. I mean, I feel without music, I'm nobody. You know, music makes me, it makes me do what I want to do. You know, I love to make people happy.
It's
You know.
inspiration.
Yeah.
And you saw that your father was doing that.
Yes.
And said, man, I want to do that.
Exactly.
I want to do that. Well, that's part of why we brought you on, because we know, I mean, we think about the type of people that we're on, aside from the friendships and, you know, the acquaintances, but we look at people and we go, these are role models. And so somebody was a role model to you, and now, you know, we believe that there's probably some little Freddie G out there doing Freddie G moves, and sooner or later you'll probably be seeing him and going, man, he's copying my stuff. But that's a form of flattery. That's a form of, you know, respect if they're emulating you, and you respected your father so much that you followed in his footsteps.
Yes.
I was wondering where the name Moses and the Followers came from. I thought it was like a religious band or something.
No,
I thought Moses.
the guy's
There was
name
a guy
was really
Moses.
Moses.
Okay.
His name was really Moses.
But so your father really influenced you and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, ever since I've always heard him practice. I always heard him playing and telling me, you know, had his friends there all the time. So yeah, I mean, as I found out, you know, my dad played drums, his mother played piano, my great grandmother played harp, the harmonica.
Oh, okay.
And I go, wow. So right now, as it stands, I'm the last one in my family that plays music.
A generation.
Yeah, none of the kids that I know of play music. You know, it's just like, wow, it ends with me. You know, unless my other kids out there, they pick up guitar and something like that. But right now, it's all on me right now. I'm trying to get.
So now it's up to you to pass the ballot.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get to that because it's going to lead into a question I'm going to ask you probably a little bit later on. But we ask a lot of people, since the name of the program is Adelante Raza, we bring in Raza. We're curious to know just what does Raza mean to you?
To me, it means family. You know, we work hard to get where we're at. to me, that's Raza. Because it all comes from the family. It all starts with the family.
Yes, it does.
You work to do what you can. You try to make a better life for yourself. And to me, it's always been family. At least that's the way I see it.
So I'm going to ask you an interesting question. So you think this this gentleman who's running for president with the funny toupee, so you think he's missing it when he says the things he's saying about Raza?
Yes, I believe he is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the Raza part, yeah, I believe that. But I've always liked the way he talks out and stands out. He does speak what's on his mind.
Okay.
But yeah, when he's talking about our culture, yeah, I think he's a little misled. He needs to learn more before he judges. At least that's what I see.
What is it about what he said that you think he has wrong? Besides, in my opinion, everything. But I mean, well, actually, there's probably some underlying truth to some of the things he's saying. But however, the way he presented it was a little interesting. But what do you think? I mean, we're talking about Donald Trump. Everybody
Well, to tell you to be true, but to be honest with you, I don't get into that politics.
Okay, cool.
I don't even watch it. To me, it's just a waste of my time. My time is music.
There you go.
So when it goes to politics, I really don't like to get involved. To me, it's not me.
So Raza,
Everybody's just crossing the line.
Yeah, everybody's crossing the line, and to me, it's just Raza is just family.
it's family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's growing up and doing what you got to do.
So what do you think you would leave as your legacy?
My music.
Your music.
My music, how I brought joy to people, how they love playing and dancing to my songs, listening to my CDs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my music.
So when my wife
Musical
asked you, so when
inspiration.
Teresa asked you that, so I'm sitting here listening to you saying, you're the last of the line, but in actuality, you're not. Because if you think about it, you want to leave your legacy as your music. Someone out there will pick up the Freddy G torch.
And you're right. It's already been done. There's also kids out there copying my music from other bands, which surprised me. Because today's music is so much different to when we were growing up. I miss our music. To me, our music is from the heart. I don't see that coming from the heart anymore. The feeling, the chills in the arm when everything just starts going, the goosebumps,
There's
when you know
always a
everything's
message
right.
In the
Yeah.
old school, there's a message.
What is our music, Freddy G?
Soul. It comes from the heart.
So,
That's part of being Raza.
Yes, big time.
So you've heard the term Chicano, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does being Chicano mean to you?
It means everything. It means it's who you are.
It's who you are.
yes.
It's all entwined in the family and all that.
Right. Yes, sir.
Excellent. So we have a few more minutes, left in this interview. And one of the other things is because like I said, one of the things that Adelante Raza is about, and the things that we get involved in, is to leave a legacy for our children. Our children are our future. If we don't leave a good foundation for them, then
You
nothing.
have to give them a sense of direction.
Sense of direction.
Yeah.
So having said that, like I said, there's kids already emulating Freddy G. You already seen that, but there might be some of those kids out there that are just, they need a little
Guidance.
little guidance, and maybe they don't have it at home or whatever. And so, I'm asking you to look in the camera and to tell that kid out there. What would you tell that kid that's struggling and says, "Man, I love Freddy G. I want to be like him. They can sing their socks off, but then I can't really be like him." What would you tell that kid?
Well, I tell them that don't give up on your dreams. Keep doing what you need to do to get there. People may tell you this and they may tell you that, but follow your dreams. And if you follow your dreams, it'll take you to the end of the rainbow.
Amen.
There you go, to the end of the rainbow, huh? What's at the end of the rainbow, Freddy?
Passion, love.
I love it. I love it. We listened to a lot of your music, and like I said, I really enjoyed that song, "How I Pray." Is that?
Yes, sir. How I prayed.
Yeah, I was impressed. You're a poet, brother. You're a poet. And
Thank you.
One of the reasons we wanted to bring it is we'll give you a little more exposure. Not that you don't have it. You have a great fan base, and by all the. So a lot of people that love your music, that love you, love the band, you know, and so we love you, we love the band, and we know that, you know, you're a great role model. So thank you so much for.
Well, thank you.
You know, come back again. We're gonna, you know, we're gonna go out there and listen to your music more. We follow you around. So, like I said, we're proud to know you,
And he will be one of the performers at the Chicano Woodstock.
yeah.
And if you have any upcoming projects or anything, then you could, you know, let us know.
Well, what I do have, I just now got a website. It's called vpweb.com.
Okay.
So it's still in the construction. I'm still working on it. That let everybody know that we're still doing. It gives us our dates. Talks about the band. Band is going good. So if you need any information, all you gotta do is go to my website.
You guys got in future any gigs coming up or anything that's planned for right now?
Chicano Woodstock.
There you go, huh?
Yeah, September 19th.
Freddie G, again, like I said, folks, this is a review of the Chicano Woodstock, and he's one of those entertainers who we asked to come out, donate his time and his energy and his talent, and he said yes, which is another example of that little facet of Freddie G, is that he's servicing his community by coming out and
giving back
his talents and making that beautiful music. We're excited to have you come out. I don't
Well, thank you for having me.
I don't
really enjoy
remember where
this.
you're going to be in the lineup, but we're just, you know, like I said, it's a shame that we're going to be there working probably, so we won't get a chance to mess off and everything. But I know when you come, we're probably going to drop wherever we're at and come and you know, surround the.
And I would like that. You know, it gives a chance to talk before everything starts getting crazy.
We're so looking forward to that.
Oh, well, thank you. I
We want you
appreciate
folks
it.
to come on out.
We could also find you on Facebook, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm on Facebook, Smooth Response Band, and also Smooth Response category people, and then Freddy Guzman. I got three Facebook accounts. So.
Okay.
You keep on doing what you're doing, brother. I mean, like I said, your music. I had no idea what a poet you were. I love your music, but when I
thank you.
I'm a reader, so when I read the lyrics, I said, "Wow." And I identified because there's many prayers I've prayed, and you know, again, God answers prayer in His own time.
Well, I'm only here because He allows me to be here. He gives me this technology to play the music that I do, and coming from the heart, it's all about the man upstairs.
Yes, it is.
All I have to say is thank you and amen.
Thank you,
God
brother.
bless.
God bless you too.
Okay, thank you for coming out. We'd like to give a heartfelt thank you to some of the people that are been instrumental in helping us to put together this Chicano Woodstock 2015 in this beautiful city of Colton, California. First and foremost, we'd like to thank again Councilman David Toro for lending him his David Toro Foundation, and more importantly because we are going to be supporting the David Toro Foundation by providing some of the proceeds that are going to come from the festival to his wonderful foundation.
Oh, yes.
We'd also like to thank the following: Blind Dog Productions, wonderful crew headed up by Mr. Phil Avila Sr., Mr. Phil Avila Jr., Diane Okobachi, and the rest of the Blind Dog Productions crew.
And also our event staff and crew who has been passing out flyers and taking care of other festival needs is Mr. Danny Calderon, Miss Diana Villarreal, Valerie Romero, and Virginia Martinez of Reflections Car Club.
And as always, if we forgot someone along the way, we apologize in advance because everything is moving at such lightning speed. The reception that we're getting for this festival and for this show, Adelante Raza, has just been such a blessing, and sometimes it's moving at lightning speed. So forgive us if we forgot to give you a shout out. We thank you out there for supporting.
We appreciate all of you.
And we'd like to let you know that all of these people and the people that are coming, the people that have came, all of these, there's more coming every day to be a part of this festival. And we ask them why, and they say, we want to do it for no other reason than to give back to our community, to create this sense of unity. And so we'd like to leave you with these words. From the depth of need, people can work together. They can organize themselves to solve their own problems and fill their own needs with dignity and strength. And that was said by Cesar Chavez. So we like to say as always, adelante pues mi raza, si se puede.
Amazing.